Or only twice has America been severely attacked by another country, and the effects rocked our nation for years to come. So why now do we see it necessary to attack other countries with such brutal force? This is why we believe that drone strikes abroad are not necessary for our protection. For instance, drones are expensive and difficult to maintain financially. Also, they have poor security, and it is easy for terrorist organizations to exploit these weaknesses. Finally, the use of drones has a high risk of collateral damage. But of course, without you and your consideration, we would only be tending to ourselves. So it is up to you to decide what you will choose after you weigh the evidence.
First of all, drones should not be in use because of the high cost. For instance, it can cost up to $28,000 per single arrest using drones for Border Patrol, according to Drew Griffin and David Fitzpatrick of CNN. In the past 8 years, Border Patrol drones have cost $360 million. Given that the U.S. is $18 trillion in national debt and 1/6 of the annual budget goes to defense, drone use just adds to that total. It is cheaper to operate standard aircraft by up to $10,000 for Border Patrol. What else could we be doing with these funds that we're pumping towards unnecessary warfare utilities such as drones? How about reducing unemployment, solving the California water crisis, researching renewable energy sources? What about even using that money to resolve the conflicts peacefully? Why are we wasting so much money on futile, frivolous warfare ventures? Additionally, drone strikes should not be used abroad because of the low security. Drone use is unconstrained and without oversight, according to Rachel Stoll of the Tribune News Service. The U.S. is able to use drones with relative ease and without much resistance. Additionally, the U.S. is selling drones to allies, allowing them easily to fall into the wrong hands. On the other hand, Iran has started building its own drones based on captured U.S. drones, according to Weekend Edition Saturday. Recent intelligence has proven that Al-Qaeda engineers are working towards hacking capabilities, breaking into weak U.S. satellite links and remote controls to hijack U.S. drones. Do we really want the thousands of dollars we spend on taxes in our lifetimes used on technology that's going to be stolen, destroyed, or copied for use against us? Finally, drones should not be used because of the high risk of collateral damage to civilians. Drone pilots, thousands of miles away from the weapon itself, have trouble weighing their decisions. They are unable to appreciate the values of the lives they're ending because of the distance between them. In a specific set of strikes against a terrorist cell, the U.S. was targeting 41 individuals. 1,147 non-targeted civilians were killed in collateral damage. Over 2,400 civilians have been killed in just 5 years of the drone program, according to CNN Wire staff. The CIA is also in the practice of double striking, or circling around and bombing the area again, killing first responders attempting to rescue victims. The constant, overbearing threat of drone strikes causes civilians to live in fear. The stress is often too much and drives them to mental illness or even drives them to joining the terrorist organizations that we are attempting to fight. Many children are too scared to go to school. Sajullah Wazir, an innocent victim of a drone strike, tells his story. Before the drone strike started, my life was good. I used to go to school and I used to be quite busy with that, but after the drone strikes, I stopped going to school. I used to be happy because I thought I would become a doctor, Sajullah recalled. 2 missiles were fired at a hujra and 3 people died. My cousin and I were injured. We didn't hear the missile at all, and then it was there. He further explained, the last thing I remembered was that we had just broken our fast where we had eaten and just prayed. We were having tea and eating just a bit, and then there were the missiles. When I regained consciousness, there was a bandage on my eye. I didn't know what had happened to my eye, and I could only see from one. Sajullah lost both of his legs and one of his eyes in the attack.
Brutality and injustice made us raise our hands towards the sky for years. God didn't respond to us, but drones came to our rescue, quoted M.F. Moonsager. Drones should be used to fight terrorism abroad. They are a good way to defend our country. They are cheaper and more efficient than using other means of attack, such as manned aircraft, and they save Americans' lives while eliminating harmful terrorist organizations like Al-Qaeda and ISIL. Today, myself, Ben, and our opponents will be presenting you with information supporting our beliefs. It is your duty to pick which side you believe is true. Our first argument is drones defend our country. Since the United States began using drones in 2002, thousands of militants have been killed across the Middle East, saving countless lives. Using drones for military operations has also been able to dramatically reduce the capabilities of organizations like Al-Qaeda. Also, the entire U.S.-Mexico border has been patrolled by drones for the last 3 to 5 years. They have been unarmed, but even so, they have alerted the authorities to many areas where people have been trying to smuggle things across the border, and the smugglers were stopped. Our second reason is that they save money and are efficient. Since drones are unmanned, the U.S. government is able to carry out attacks that it would not be able to do otherwise because it does not have to worry about losing an American pilot. They are also very cost efficient because other options such as aerial strikes and ground operations are costly. For example, it costs anywhere from $18,000 to $169,000 per hour to operate a manned aircraft, 6 to 42 times more expensive than it is to carry out a drone strike. Our third argument is they save troops' lives. The most important benefit of using drones in war, besides their comparatively cheap cost compared to a manned aircraft, is the fact that flying them puts no human operator in harm's way. Whether conducting recon missions over enemy territory or covering efforts of ground troops, pilotless drones by definition can never put a human operator in behind enemy lines situation. Such a situation befell fellow Jordanian pilot Mowath al-Kasabeh, that he was shot down, captured, and savagely murdered by ISIL. The gist is simple. A drone swoops in while its operator is safe thousands of miles away, and the precision-guided ordnance hits a target with little risks to our troops.